You're listening to Chameleon Church. Biblical antidotes for the modern man. With your host, Alan Aguirre.
Apparently you couldn't hear the music I was playing. I was playing music and I don't think you could hear it. You weren't able to hear it. You weren't able to hear this, were you? I don't think the live broadcast can hear that. Well, what the heck? We've got to figure out how you can hear that. Well, that's no good. That's no fun. I wanted you to be able to. Well, see, you can hear it, but you're not hearing it properly. We've got to figure out how you can hear that. And you're not. That's no good. That's no fun. I wanted you to be able to. Well, see, you can hear it, but you're not hearing it properly. So anyway, you should be able to hear that, like, properly. So anyway, hi, my name's Alan Aguirre. It's Tuesday morning. It's the Chameleon Church Show where we're trying to play you far east of Cleveland, Phil Kagi, and from Master and Musician too. And for some reason, I didn't route my audio properly because there's all this fandangled routing that needs to be set up and stuffs, and I didn't set it up properly. And I wanted you to hear it, but. Oh, well, hey, if you're trying to find us on YouTube, you're not going to be able to because somebody broke the rules on the, where are we? The Lamb Radio Video Network. And it wasn't me and it wasn't us. Somebody else broke the rules and got us banned or in a YouTube timeout for playing something that had something to do with the plandemic or the China virus or all those hot words. Those are hot topic. Or get spanked by digital media words like plandemic and Beijing Biden. What else? Mask hole. Don't wear a mask. It's no good. So you see what I'm trying to do here? Apparently you can say those things, but if you play a video from any source that's saying that the plandemic China virus that Beijing Biden and his friends have infiltrated our country with, besides stealing the election, if you play videos that talk about that stuff, you can get into a YouTube timeout. I'm not quite sure if the things I just said will get us in YouTube timeout, but the Lamb Radio Video Network is on YouTube timeout till tomorrow. So if you're trying to catch us over there, you won't be able to. I don't know what I just said, how that'll do well with Facebook, because we're also on the Lamb Facebook page as well as the Chameleon Church Facebook page. So I don't know if those words are trigger words too that'll get you in trouble with the big old bad tech company owner guys, with the censoring of media in the United States of America. Who the hell saw that freaking coming? I did a long time ago, and now we're here. And you know what? The majority of Christians, well, a lot of Christians, I'm going to say the majority of Christians that I know are kowtowing. They're actually submitting to it. Alan, it's not very Christian and it's irresponsible of you not to wear a mask in public because they told us to. I don't even bother having that conversation with people because it's just a stupid conversation to have. There's a great meme that I used to post. I haven't posted in a while, and it said, if you ever wondered what you would do in a Nazi Germany situation, an Anne Frank situation, well, you're doing it. Somebody needs to come up with a version of giving somebody the bird, a Christian version, a politically correct, wholesome, holy Christian version of giving people the bird. I know Jesus did somehow. He had one. I need to figure out which one that is because all of you that's what you need right now. It's Tuesday morning. It's the Chameleon Church Show. I'm your host, Alan Aguirre. That's me. And I'm coming live and direct to you from the Wasatch Back. It has been snowing all night long. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. Lots of snow. Dude, Texas, we got out of there in the nick of time. That place is crazy right now. And we knew it. We knew we had to get out when we got out because of what was coming and what was happening over there. And sure enough, the whole state now. I mean, we had to follow the front edge of the ice storm for more than 80% of our path heading towards El Paso, which is the warmest part of the country. We had to shoot 3.5 hours out of our way to get to El Paso and then go work our way up instead of doing what we would normally do, and that's go right down the freaking belly of the jugular of the ice storm. That's dangerous. Black ice, Texas, no joke. Well, now the entire state is iced as of like a couple days ago. And yesterday they had a wind chill warning of minus 15 to minus 30 degrees. I know this is happening in other states, Oklahoma, all the way into Tennessee. But since I have personal friends and family in Texas, I get all that information pretty readily. I mean, I have a 2-year-old granddaughter over there. So, ooh, look at all this big message. Victoria wrote a Reader's Digest comment. Can I read it? I'm going to read it. Hello, church family. Praise God. Could I please ask for very special prayer? Oh, this is serious. Sorry, Victoria. I'm not mocking you. I'm just doing me. You're asking for a special prayer for you and your family. Prayer request. There's a lot of ways that my family became homeless. Ooh, that's not good. Losing his job because of please pray a powerful prayer for my family, asking God with the right people. My husband, we have literally. Yes, Victoria, where do you live? What city? Hi, Kevin. How are you? Roxanne, hello. Victoria, what city do you live in? That's a good place for us to start. Father, we pray protection over the Miller family. We pray for your continual protection and your provision. Yeah, Victoria, there's a lot of pieces involved with things like this. We can get into it, but let's start with what city you live in. Hey, I'm sorry. I forgot. Sorry. Hey! Chameleon Church Show, Tuesday morning. Today is February 16th, my brother's birthday tomorrow. We left Texas today. We pulled up to Lenny's church tomorrow, and there was already all like 5 cars had already been delivered, something like that. And we showed up with a van, our tour van, pulling our tour bus trailer, and 2 huge Penske trucks, like the 24-foot long ones, the big, extra long, big ones. Remember that, Lenny? That was tomorrow 8 years ago.
Yep. And the car hauler, too.
What is going on? Hold on one second. I don't know what's going on. Can you talk now?
Hello, testing. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Everybody, hold on. I can't hear them. One second. All right, we want to go there. Hold on. Oh, man, what is going on? Hold on. I can't hear anybody. You're going to have to wait. It's on me, so give me 1 second. One second. I will have this in one. Okay, talk.
Hello, testing. Can you hear me? Can you see me? There we go. Daryl, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Well, good. And we can all hear each other.
You guys keep talking. I'll get us up here in 1 second.
Oh.
What are you getting us up for? All right.
Okay. All right, I got something wrong. I got echo. I'm trying to kill something here. Hold on.
All right. So, Lenny, you started the Bible study on Wednesday.
Yep.
So we're going through Daniel now.
Yep.
So what's your sense on what God's plan is for this for you?
Oh, just to get the information out and see where it's going to go with the people that are on there. Because I know your influence, but I know a few of those and their influence. And most of these people are all new to the Hebrew roots too. So
okay.
they're excited. They're stoked. I think they hear the Chameleon Church. They're on there every Tuesday, and a few are on Monday nights, and my brother's on there, and their influence is far and wide. So we'll see what happens. And some of the people that signed up weren't able to get on, and they were old Shiloh people when I was in that ministry, the early Jesus movement ministry. And they've been bugging me. They go, hey, we need to get this out. So the moment I'm able to put it up to YouTube and start posting, and I think I'll get a lot more response too. And of course, the first night I forgot to press the record button. So I got to redo the whole thing over, but it's a lot easier to do it that way anyway. So learning as I go. How about you? Is everything going okay?
Yeah, it's
gone through a lot the last couple of weeks. So.
What was that?
You've gone through a lot the last couple of weeks.
We're still going through a lot. Good morning. Okay, off you go. Yeah, it was what we call Family Day here in Ontario yesterday. So we had a friend of ours come over and watched. We just spent some time in fellowship and watched a creation movie from Ken Ham.
Yep.
That was okay. Had a bunch of people talking, a bunch of microbiologists and stuff like that. They were talking about the fallacy of evolution. It was all right.
I've seen him before. I really like Reeves on the, oh boy, I'm trying to remember what his program was, but incredibly produced stuff on creation. And they were a regular on Saturday afternoons. And that's when I was down in Santa Maria, I discovered that. So he's a younger guy. And he interviewed people like Ham and all those other people, but he kept it really short, concise, and really to be able to grab young people. And I really like that. I mean, he went from, detailed productions of the flood and so on and so forth all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, we've got Purim coming up next week, 25th.
Yep.
And I know it seems like right now that there's this kind of lull. I mean, I know the deep state is working really hard, but there's also a sense that there's a quiet before something really significant goes down. I'm not quite sure what it is. And we've got a lot of things that are kind of bubbling up over here. I don't know if anybody else in audience land and Facebook land, because we're on a YouTube timeout.
Oh yeah, we are. Check.
Oh man,
there's some unraveling going on in California right now, and it's interesting. It made the news, and
they've got enough votes now to recall him, right?
They got 1.5, and they're going for 2 because they know that a lot of them will be thrown out. So
because dead people aren't allowed to recall, just vote.
Right, they're hard at it, but there's also information about the GOP in California, which is just as corrupt as everything else, trying to subvert the recall Newsom thing. And so there's a big fight going on there. But there's some disheveling going on in Hollywood too, which is interesting because a lot of times where Hollywood goes, a lot of the media goes, and it came out yesterday like gangbusters, and it's affecting a major network. So
yeah,
we can talk about it later or whatever, but it had to do with ABC.
Oh, really?
And Chris Harrison stepping down, that the longest running TV program, The Bachelor, right? Which has an unbelievable following, and he stepped down for what it looked like righteousness' sake, because the woke and all the cancel culture really ragged on one of the contestants because she grew up on a farm that 100 years ago had slavery down in Georgia. And he got up and he says, "Stop it." He goes, "Give the gal a break. That's not who she is." And when he said that, Disney cut him off. That's ABC. So he stepped down, and that's already starting. Get on these little blogs, man. It's shaking throughout Hollywood, because there's a lot of people that have been quiet in the background, and they're starting to step up. And that's a big.
Well, you've also got this this woman that was fired from the Mandalorian, or whatever it's called, the
Mandalorian,
whatever it's called. It's one of these Star Wars, the 117th episode of Star Wars. But yeah, she they totally poleaxed her for nothing. Like, it's so intense out there right now, this cancel culture and the silencing. And it all has to do with the fact that, I mean, they had the impeachment, which was a complete joke. Like, everybody knew that it wasn't going to go through. I guess maybe they thought they could strong arm some of the senators and stuff, like the Republican senators, and, you know, the extreme traitors like Romney, who hasn't found a liberal cause he didn't like through his entire political career. Susan Collins, Murkowski, they're not Republicans. They just happen to run for the Republican Party.
Aren't they calling those rhinos?
Well, they're mostly rhinos. So is Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham voted to certify the results of the Electoral College, as did VP Pence, another scumbag traitor. But, like, they knew that it wasn't going to go through. So, like, what was that all about? There's some really funky things going on right now, but it's just like everybody's waiting for the shoe to fall. We don't know when it is. In the meantime, I mean, look what's going on with poor Texas right now. They're getting hammered by this storm that is completely created. You know, polar vortex has nothing to do with HAARP, does it? And all the power goes out. So they've got these blackouts that are now down there, and all these people getting hit with a massive ice storm. Listen, Texans don't know how to deal with snow and ice very well.
Hey, just for the sake of new viewers who might be wondering, or even people that are used to watching us, why do we talk about politics so much? Well, because it's a relevant subject matter to our faith. I like the way Lance Wallnau puts it. So you've got Paul, who represents the church mountain, on a boat that's represented by the business mountain, but he's got the government mountain on the boat as well. And the government mountain and the business mountain just decide to throw the church guy off the boat. Remember? And he's like, and he warns them and tells them, hey, you know, we're probably going to get shipwrecked. We might have loss of life, blah, blah. He prophesies, so they throw him in jail in the boat. And then they get to the island, right? And he ends up, you know, whatever. So here's the thing. The point is, you know, if you're on the Titanic and you're in the chapel of the Titanic praying your little heart out, the Titanic goes down, you're going down with it. So one of the reasons why we talk about politics is because whether you believe it or not, whether you agree or not, it absolutely impacts and affects your faith and your faith walk here on earth. And since we're in the most amazing country, the United States of America, what happens here in this country does impact you and I. Because, see, we can't talk about certain things of faith anymore on here, on a public, in social media, because they can clamp down. I can't sit here and tell you that homosexuality is a sin, a perversion, because that's hate speech. And they'll shut you down for that. And you can get in trouble for that. See, so don't tell me politics don't work or don't impact you or your life or your faith, because it does. Because as soon as I can't tell you what sin is, you can go and sin, and then you'll die in your sin because you didn't know that wasn't sin. See what I'm saying? So yeah, politics does impact your faith and your faith walk. And
Well,
as proclaimers of the faith, we have to deal with this stuff. So that's why we talk about politics, because it does impact you and your faith. Now, you don't have to agree and you don't have to believe that, but that doesn't mean you're right. I know I'm right because, hell, there's a lot of politics in the Bible. You know what? The prophets in the Old Testament, they had audiences with kings. Politics.
90% of what Jesus talked about was the politic of evil, the day he was living in, and why he came to destroy it. What are the demons all about? It's about the politic of the governance of the world.
Yeah. So if you don't understand how what we're talking about is spiritual, then you're probably not understanding that.
Well, and I think it was.
Is spiritual.
I think it
Are
was
you interrupting me, Rabbi?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
That happens in Jewish ministry all the time. Get used to it.
The reasoning back and forth.
Yes. Actually, last Saturday we had a fellowship with just two people who came over here, and I mean, we had a knock 'em down, drag 'em out conversation about the Bible and theology and stuff like that, and it was amazing. We had such a good time.
Oh,
Nobody got offended, even though we didn't necessarily agree. Now, of course,
right.
I'm the rabbi, so my position prevailed, but it wasn't. But it wasn't that. It was like a traditional synagogue. It was like a traditional yeshiva.
Yeah.
You're debating the scriptures back and forth. You're sharpening one another.
Yep.
And I said I had a conversation with a pastor friend of mine, and this is what I wanted to refer to, is that he told me that he can't wait to get the vaccination. He's waiting on pins and needles in order to wait for his name to be called. I said, "You're getting the vaccine?" And well, that led into a whole conversation. But then he tells me that he's not listening to anything that's not from the mainstream media. So he only gets his sources from CNN and MSNBC. And apparently the last time I preached at his church, he had to undo a whole bunch of damage I did because two women came up to him and said that they didn't want to participate in the Christmas thing. So he had to go into deep theology, he said, in order to rectify the damage that I had done, because they said that we don't want to participate in Christmas.
Crazy.
The reason why we talk about these things is because there's a strong delusion that is now being released on the earth. And if you are not in line and understanding with what's going on, you're going to believe the mainstream media. You're going to believe that Trump is evil, and that guys like, I think it was Martin who said to me,
and that the Giants are going to eat you.
And they will. But I think it was Martin who in Wales who said to me a few months ago, he had sent me this quote. John Piper, I think it was John Piper, but I can't remember. But he says that God doesn't really care about politics. He says, I can't really see God being all that concerned about, who the Caesar was. And you hear comments like this. And so God is completely disassociated from his creation. He's completely disassociated from the goings on. What makes that God any different from the gods of Greek mythology or Allah, let's say, who doesn't give a rip about what goes on the earth? Well, my God is very concerned about that. And he's the one who puts people in power and then takes them out.
See, and that's an incredibly unbiblical narrative. What does it say about the birth of Jesus, the birth of Messiah? The governments will be on his shoulders. Oops. I mean, from the very get-go, let's just stick to the New Testament. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, chances are people that think that are also like, oh, Old Testament doesn't apply to me. Well, your New Testament, one of the first things prophesied about Jesus is that the governments would be on his shoulder. He's coming back to rule the earth. for 1,000 years. The parable of the minas.
Kingdom.
What's that?
That's the gospel of the kingdom.
Right. The
They
parable
got
of the minas explains how, because you're a good steward, give him 10 cities to rule over. Oops. Anyway, it's a non-issue. I mean, if you still don't get it, I'm sorry. I don't know if we can make it any clearer than we already have. Anyway, that's why we talk about politics. Now, we don't have to talk about politics, but if you watch this show for any amount of time, you'll notice that even if we are talking about politics or how everyone should be a masshole, we do end up circling around and giving you the spiritual nuggets of whatever it is we're talking about. Now, that's just me saying that. You would have to ask the people in the chat if that's true. Morning, Bobby.
Robert Hall. Out on the road again. Just like Willie Nelson said.
Any discussion on Ravi Zacharias? Nope. Never knew the man, didn't know him personally, but damn, I sure would hate a whole bunch of people to go through my life like that. So don't give him cause to. But I could use a massage. Too soon?
Oh, boy.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I'm just that guy. See, what does Jerry Seinfeld say? Hell, I don't even know there's a line until I cross it. That's the only time I know. Oh, what line? Oh, sorry. Yes, you cannot find us on YouTube because somebody else on the, where are we? On the Messianic Lamb Radio Network. That's what it's called, right? The Lamb Radio Video Network. See, see, that's why I'm confused, because it has 15 different names.
No, it doesn't.
Sure. I just left a message. I left a comment and it says Messianic Lamb Radio. Yes. But if you go to the very top, Lamb Radio Video Network. See, those are two different names. No wonder I'm confused. Anyway, you can't find us on YouTube because somebody on this network, another show, another host,
and they were talking about news and politics.
Yeah, got us kicked off of YouTube till Wednesday. Because, we're being censored now in the great old US of A. We're being censored by non-government agencies, but the government agencies back their play. Well, if you're a Democrat, you do. And, so we got booted off YouTube till Wednesday, and I'm showing off my Chameleon cup.
Oh, yes. So... Now it's on.
Yeah, but mine's the rockiness. Look at this thing, dude. This thing, I win.
Yes, but I'm the happy chameleon.
Well, I'm not happy at all.
No, I know that.
You know when people sing about the joy of the Lord, I just want to bitch slap them. I'm just yeah, we're those people. Well, at least I am. So somebody's must be my wife. Anyway, so somebody else, another show, another host. I think they were what were they called? Not the Rabbinator.
It was.
Oh no! I'm talking about a long time ago. What were they called?
Oh, anyway, what about them?
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to use that name. I'm just messing around. Anyway, somebody else got us banned off of YouTube. If you go back about 10 minutes, you'll see a little rant, and a little Alan Aguirre rant about it. But that's why we're not on YouTube. Sorry, it's not our fault though.
Yeah.
Think about it. Usually it's our fault.
It's best. I always tell people it's best to go to messianiclambradio.com in order to find the link to the shows, because obviously we're dealing with some upheaval right now. Mark is looking into alternatives for YouTube. The problem is that every other platform is going to pale in comparison to what YouTube can offer.
As
so
far as
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
YouTube, you can schedule multiple things. It's free, all that kind of stuff. But the reality is Christians really need to start looking very actively to get away from these
right.
these tech giants, because
Yeah.
this is only a portent of things to come. You've had Alex Jones has been off. I mean, how long has he been off the network for? YouTube and Facebook and everything else. LifeSite News, which does great work in the area of the sanctity of marriage and pro-life. I mean, they're staunchly Catholic and everything else, but they still do a lot. They've been permanently banned, and they lost all of their videos too. YouTube just erased everything. Now they had them all backed up, but the censorship is really, really moving at a quick pace right now. And so we're asking everybody to pray for wisdom for this network here, because we want to continue to be able to give you the truth, but it's going to become more difficult to find. And that's why politics matter, because we have a illegitimate government in place that is allowing all of this to happen.
Ooh. Yeah, dude. How awesome, dude. Yesterday was President's Day.
Yeah.
And there was like a 750,000 parade for Trump.
Yeah.
President Trump. So you can still call him President Trump. See, people are
Yep.
even pissed off about that. You can call him President Trump until the day he dies,
Yep.
because that's legal. And people are pissed by that. He's not the president anymore. Can you believe that? They say that about him. Well, don't you
Yeah.
call Obama? What do you call him, Barry? Or do you call him President Hussein?
Mm-hmm.
What do you call him, right? Well, that's right. I went there. So so yesterday on President's Day, I saw a lot of memes congratulating and shouting out to President Trump on President's Day. I also saw that there was a 750,000 march or parade, not march, parade for President Trump on President's Day. Joe was in his basement. Basement Biden. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, yeah. As you can tell, we lean to the right. We do. Hey, don't forget. My son told me to reminded me of this because I always forget. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I can't tell you to do the YouTube thing because we're not on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Share,
We will be next week.
Yes, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Unless Lenny says something to get us kicked off again.
Never know.
Yeah, somebody's asking where Lenny's cup is. Well, he's still under 90-day
probation.
Quarantine.
Blood moons. The blood moons.
He's got a blood moon cup. He's one of those guys.
Yes.
So, should we get spiritual about something?
I thought we were.
Oh, that's right.
Which mountain were we on?
Oh, yeah. Woohoo. Yeah.
Yeah, man, oh man.
It's getting real. It's getting real. What else? What else?
I have to say that he's doing some excavating on the church mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There's a lot of excavation going on there. Oh, yes.
Speaking of excavation, I watched a movie called The Dig yesterday.
Oh, did you? I saw that up there on Netflix.
Yeah. I like it. It was good. Yeah. I mean, it's based on a novel, so it's not all historical, but it's based on historical. Yeah. Yeah. How many days does Lenny have to go? I know, right? Where are you? So, hey, Mark, what's your name? Daryl. What's our anniversary? Is it the first week of March? The first Tuesday of March? I should probably go back and see the first time I ever did this show.
April 10th.
No, it was in March.
I joined in April. It was after Passover of 2018.
Okay, you joined in April. So I joined in March. It was the beginning of March. So let's just do a flotating anniversary. The first Tuesday of March will be our anniversary from here on out. Thus, by order of the Peaky Blinders. And so that'll be our third anniversary. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I'm feeling good. Dude, you have to understand. I've had a rough 2 weeks. And I've explained it on social media already, but it's been a rough 2 weeks, driving to Texas, barely getting there to say goodbye to my dad. Well, I had already said goodbye to my dad, but to actually watch him pass, barely got under the wire. I almost missed that. And then, dealing with family. Boy, that was really good. Hold on. I got to take a very proud moment for me and pat myself in the back for being careful with my words there. And then driving back and forth from Dallas to San Antonio and then getting out of Dallas before this crazy storm hit. That was brutal because we had to drive extra hours to go around it. And then our last day was, dude, it was it was 17 plus hours. 800 plus miles with 3 kids under 10. And somehow we drive through a town or a city. Anybody need to go to the restroom? No. And like 30 minutes later, in the middle of nowhere, they have to go to the restroom. So last March, April, a year ago when we went, last April, May, a year ago when we went to Dallas during the beginning of the COVID, remember that? We took a little porta potty for our little 3-year-old, and we basically potty trained him on the side of the road. It's awesome. So that was, dude, we got home at 2:45, 18-hour plus drive. Dude, it was brutal. And then I had a head cold. So I had a head cold for all throughout the weekend. I've had a rough 2 weeks, so I'm excited. I feel better. Beautiful winter wonderland up here right now. Avalanche warnings all around us. Remember those, Lenny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a big one while you were gone.
I know. I heard about it. Right. A friend of mine told me, people were dying.
Yeah. The biggest one since 92. And boy, I remember in the days when they'd call me up as a pastor and someone died and we would wait for the families to get there so we could comfort them while they're digging them out of the snow.
Wow.
The canyons. It's a real thing, let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, just a real reminder, it's my birthday next week. It's my birthday month.
Yes.
No, that's right.
I can't wait to see what you post on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Every year you post something little saying, now Alan needs this.
Yeah. See, I got a nice Amazon wish list going on.
There you go.
What else? And then it'll be our 3-year anniversary of this show, the first Tuesday in March. That's been declared by order of the Peaky Blinders. What else? Thank you for the condolences on my father. We're all good. He found faith like 5 years ago, so that was awesome. Can you imagine that? Lenny knows my parents. He's met them before. Yeah, they came to faith like 5 years ago. That's like
so awesome.
It really is. He was ready. What else? What else is going on besides my birthday next week? Yeah. Oh, somebody's asking what our thoughts on Purim are. Here, look at it. I don't even know who this is. I've never seen this name before. What's your thoughts about Purim this year?
Which Haman's going to get hung?
I'm wondering if they're asking us prophetically. Would you be asking that question prophetically? And then they say 3.5-year time. Leota, Clewine. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Are you asking us prophetically or are you asking us politically? And then what do you mean by 3.5-year time? I think I know what you mean, but if you don't mind clarifying so that we can actually address it. What else? Boy, we usually have bigger numbers. I wonder if it's because no YouTube and people don't like Facebook. I don't know.
A lot of people got out of Facebook.
Yeah, they're on MeWe, right? I'm on MeWe.
Yeah.
You can't do this on MeWe, though.
No. It's hard to navigate MeWe, too.
There's nothing to navigate.
Yeah, I know.
It's, All right. That new person isn't getting back with us. So
That's happy because people wanted to do the religious thing and get off so they can show their defiance, but they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Might as well use the
That's what
beach
religion does.
tries to kick you off. Come on, man.
That's why, you know what? So in order not to accidentally eat meat offered unto idols, we're all going to be vegetarians.
Yeah.
Like you've done.
Romans 14. Oh, here we go. In every sense, political and spiritual. Okay. And what did you mean by 3.5 years?
Well, while she's answering that, why don't we answer the first question?
All right. I have no thoughts on Purim being political this year or spiritual. It's kind of quiet out there right now. And I think you said that about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
if
it's
you look
like-
at- to answer a question about the Jews, right now they're in a holding pattern, and it looks like Netanyahu.
What do you mean holding pattern? They're
Huh?
going door to door and freaking injecting them.
Yeah, I
What the
know.
hell's wrong with these people?
I'm talking about the geopolitical thing. The fact is they're not doing anything right now because they're trying to get Netanyahu back in there, and he has a pretty good chance from what we hear. And even at that, they're not really all excited about partnering with Biden right now. So they're trying to. It's quiet over there. Let's put it this way.
Friends,
They're not excited about partnering with Biden. I'm shocked. Really?
They're
I've got-
leftists, but not the other parts.
I've got prophetic friends that live in Jerusalem and in Galilee, and they're saying it's pretty stupid right now over there.
Oh yeah. Well, everything's about COVID. Everything's about the whole lockdown.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yes, Purim is political biblically. Are you saying that it's very political for our United States of America right now? Because yes, we know that Purim is political biblically. I guess we're going to need some clarification there, Leota. Am I saying that right? Please let me know. I've lost sound.
Well, you know what? If I can add some clarification, we got to be careful if we just try to spiritualize everything for our personal situation, especially when you're looking at those things that point to the Hebrews. And we do that. I grew up doing that in the church because we do that. How does it apply to me? And what that does is it sets a long chain of just skewing everything out of context. You got to, and especially in these days, we got to reel everything back into context.
Right. Yeah, I saw that, Tim. Yeah, see, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The only reason why America matters is because we're Israel's biggest ally. If they can, and see, and this is what the globalists want to do. They want to cut us at our knees so that we're no longer a economic or political powerhouse. And that's what they're doing. What do you think they're doing right now? What do you think they've been doing since the fall winter of 2019? That's I can spin that for the next hour and a half, and I don't mean spin like a spin doctor, but I can speak about that for easily a long time. It's very obvious that's what's going on. Why would they do that to America? Hell, they've known this for a long time. The globalists have known this for a very, very, very long time. To take over the world, you got to take over the United States. How do you take over the United States? 4 of the 7 mountains: education, religion, business, politics. Guess what they've done? And that's in Greenspan's memoirs when he's talking about the Trilateral Commission. You want to go there? You don't want to go there with me. Anyway, so you get rid of the U.S., Israel has because this isn't about us, it's all about Israel. And if you can eliminate us or move us out of the way or hurt us, chop us down at our knees, then it's a lot easier to come after Israel. A lot easier because they won't have the big dog, big brother to help them out. And that's what this is about, because they have to come after Israel. Why? Because your Messiah's return is predicated on a false prophet, an antichrist, a tribulation scenario, and Israel being under attack to the extent that Messiah comes back and swoops down to deliver Israel from her enemies. That's what your New Testament says. Done. Mic drop. Bam. I don't know. I'm just excited this morning. I don't know why. I'm awake. I'm awoke.
Yeah, Tim, that's the spirit of Amalek.
Yep. But see, all those Torah people, you can't get involved with politics. They'll tell you that's a bad thing. You can't get involved with all those Torah people, all those.
I know.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. They don't know what they're talking. They don't know what they're talking about. All they do is bitch about everything, but won't do anything to change it or fix it because you can't do that either. You know,
Well, and I covered this on my message on Saturday. Paul exhorts us on a couple of different occasions to be praying for our leaders.
mm-hmm.
We have to be actively involved now. We've got to be asking for forgiveness of sins. We've got to be praying that God would take the blinders off. Trudeau, for instance, is nothing but an empty shell. That guy has no life in his eyes. He needs to be woken up. He is a complete mind control slave, this guy. I don't know if he's ever had an original thought in his head. And they put this guy into power because he's completely controllable. We need that God would wake him up.
Yeah.
And if we're not praying for it, if we're not interceding, if we're not standing in the gap, then how has this guy got a chance?
Yeah.
That's our job. That's why we're here, is to influence things. I mean, I don't think people really understand when Yeshua says that the gospel is like, a lump of dough with 3 pecks of leaven. What does that mean? No, leaven's bad. No, not in this case. It spreads.
Yep. I taught on that on the 2-minute warning about 3 weeks ago. That exact thing. Ooh. You got a secular song for a ringtone? What kind of pastor are you?
Yeah, that's my ringtone, Layla.
We all heard it.
And my wife says how sweet it is to be loved by you.
Oh my gosh. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw this. My wife posted this. Couple in the living room watching TV. The husband hears his phone go off. It's a text message, but his phone's in the kitchen. So he gets up out of the living room, goes to the kitchen to grab his phone to see who's texting it. And he sees a text from his wife. Can you bring some chips while you're at it?
While you're up.
That's so wrong, man. That is wrong. They're both in the living room watching TV. His phone's in the kitchen. She texts his phone. He gets up to see it because she knows he's going to. And it's a text from his wife telling him to come back with the chips. That's what a biatch. That's a good one. My wife sent that to me. And my daughter's like, I can see that happening. You would do that to your dad. You would do that to dad. And she's like, yeah, but he'd do that with his phone. Either way, it's bad all around, right?
My wife's brother, they'd be both sitting there on the couch and watching TV or something like that. And he'd look at her and he'd say, while you're up, grab me another beer.
Yeah. Make sure it's open when you bring it to me next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called, you know what it's called? Marriage. So that same couple on their 50th wedding anniversary, the whole family's there, big old party. They're upstairs resting, rocking in their little chairs in the back balcony. And he goes, Emma, I'm proud of you. And she goes, George, I'm tired of you too. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Hey, somehow we've talked about something for, we only got 10 minutes left. We've done pretty good. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. Hopefully we help somebody.
10 minutes is 25.
What?
It's 25 minutes left.
Oh. So whose idea was it to start this thing at quarter till and go for an hour 15? That was Mark's idea. Why? Do you know why they do that or why they did that? I've never asked.
because the prayer show goes until 9:30-ish.
Damn prayer shows. Okay.
Prayer shows are good.
Yeah, I'm just joking. So I believe something big happens this year's Purim. Well, we'll see. We will see. I got nothing. Yep. Our Utah buddy Andy backing up our play here. They got involved. That's right. Absolutely.
Well, I don't think Esther had much of a choice in the matter. The only choice that she did have was whether to go before King Ahasuerus.
But Mordecai was
involved.
But Mordecai was involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's involved too. Yeah. They're involved.
Oh, yeah.
They're actively involved. They're not just sitting around in the basement. They're not sitting in the prayer chapel of the Titanic praying. Remember? Titanic goes down, you go down with it.
Those two both had a lot of wisdom because he was coaching her since she was young. And when she got in there, righteousness prevailed when she ratted on those and went before the king, and all the revelation that came out. That wasn't no slouch.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan Henry, for the kind words. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I actually don't have any thoughts of this year's Purim prophetically, other than the normal spiritual significance and thoughts of Purim. If I did have thoughts politically regarding where we're at right now, I would obviously share them because I do get those. I just don't have anything. I can fake it. No, I won't.
Like a lot of other people do.
Yeah. Man, I do. Well, would you like to share one of them, Leota? We've got a couple minutes.
Michael Brown wrote an article for WorldNet Daily. I guess it was early last week or something like that. And he was saying that all these prophets who said that Trump was going to be inaugurated on January 20th. And he says most of them aren't repenting. Most of them aren't saying that we got this wrong. And they're actually digging in their heels and saying, well, it's this, or, then they're trying to turn around, justify it, whatever the case may be. Listen, if you didn't hear properly and you shut off your mouth, confess it, repent of it, move on. Because it's one thing to prophesy falsely. It's another thing to be a false prophet.
Or to prophesy incorrectly. Well,
if you're going to date set, because and I had a debate going back and forth with a lot of people on this article, and they're saying, well, watch and wait. I said, it doesn't matter now. I said, even if Trump does get installed, let's say on Purim that all of this goes down, and let's say, Haman gets hung, and all, the military that's sitting there in DC does swoop in and take down this government, and Trump does get installed. Let's say that happens. That still doesn't make these guys correct in that they said January 20th, he would be installed. He would go for his second term. Now they're saying, well, the military, they did give him a 21-gun salute, and Biden only got 2. And it's like all this justification and stuff like that. And, spiritually, he has been, put in there and stuff like that. No, you said he would be installed on the 20th of January, and he wasn't. You were wrong.
Yeah, the guys I follow never said that. That's what's really interesting. Hey, I just looked up Purim for this year. Guess when it starts?
Next Thursday, 25th.
My birthday.
Ah.
You're discerning, Leota. It's my birthday. Oh, wait. I got something here for us. It's my birthday. That's what's going on in the spiritual realm. It's my birthday on Purim this year. Party at my place. No? Okay.
So
All
why
right.
do we celebrate birthdays again?
I've always celebrated birthdays. I've never not
What did you do
celebrated.
what did you do to come into this world?
That's a loaded question.
Nothing.
Okay. So what are we celebrating?
The fact that I came into this world.
Okay. Well, happy pagan self-worship day.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. You gonna have a cake and blow out candles to Artemis too?
I don't know if I don't really do the cake candle thing. Hey, my paganism has bounds. Okay. Okay, sunshine.
So what do you think's gonna happen, Lenny?
I'm clueless on that one. Not hearing
He's
anything.
honest about it.
What'd you say?
So at least he's honest about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't lie around here. Like I
No.
said, I do have on occasion, when the Lord speaks, I'll have a prophetic word regarding something that's going on or ties in with whatever, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to Purim this year, other than my birthday, I got nothing.
No, it's been strangely. There's a lot going on in the spiritual realm.
Yes.
I mean, I was just sharing with you what happened this past weekend with us and what we were tasked to do, and so there's things going on, but on a geopolitical scale, I mean, things are moving and everything else. Yet at the same time, it's like God isn't saying anything.
We're in a holding pattern of sorts.
We are, and that's kind of where Mordecai and Esther were. You've got the date of Purim that's coming.
My birthday.
Know that it's about to go down, and yet they got to wait until, okay, we got to fast for 3 days and 3 nights, and make sure that, and then you make sure that before you go to the king, you make sure you get all dressed up. You don't come all haggard in your ripped clothing and stuff like that. Like, people don't understand that. And I talked about this on how we approach the Lord. Esther got all dressed up. She got all made up. She wasn't going in her Monday casuals.
No. I agree with Bob. I think that original inauguration day might be something. But I don't know.
I know a lot of people want to ask, what is the immediate hold? But I have to say this too, is that go back to the way that Mario Murillo warned everybody, right? We quickly, easily forget. So here God sets up his kings or whatever. However, let's face it, he's in charge. He's the master chess player. I don't believe those exhortations of what seers saw to really learn how to intercede and what's really at stake has stopped. So like if Chuck Pierce says there's a new season spiritually coming, I have to think in my mind. Now, I can't say this. I'm not a prophet or either was my dad. He was an Italian baker. He made bread. But when I look at the scriptures, when I look at the sustenance of those scriptures, what's happening, everything is pointing for the church again to cry out, Maranatha, come quickly. What are we looking at? Are we looking at just to see the church happen or the immediate event unfold before us? I think we need to look that way, but I also think we need to look at the not big picture, but the very soon picture that's coming, because that puts us in touch right with Yeshua, crying out that he's our heart cry, that we long after him, because those are the seasons we're in, and those are the days that are drawing close. And again, I'd like to know what the specific prophetic inferences are on this Purim, but not having it, I don't see. And yet at the same time, I can see real clearly that we're in a season people look up, for the redemption is coming. And they can see by the world stage. If they can't, then I question if they're reading their Bibles. I really am.
Well, that's one of the big problems, is that so many aren't reading their Bibles. It's always been the issue, is biblical literacy.
Yep.
And actually, this was something that my wife even commented on while I was doing my message on Shabbat, is that you can't discern these things of what's going on unless you're reading your Bible.
Exactly.
Because on Saturday, I was talking all about in Exodus 22:28, it says, you should not revile God or speak or curse a leader. And if you don't know your Bible, you don't know that's the case. And so, I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum about, how Christians spoke of Trump and everything else. Well, how come these same Christians aren't going after Mike Pence, who is such a good Christian boy, supposedly, for his complete betrayal of not only the man that he was supposed to be working for, but also his entire country? Where's all the condemnation about for him? If people aren't going back to their Hebrew roots, if people aren't understanding the old covenant, they're clueless about this stuff. They're all going to Romans 13 and say we need to submit to our governing authorities. And when they tell us to wear 17 masks,
somebody on my Facebook wall just equated wearing masks to the gospel. Here's what they actually said. It's about a common courtesy to others. If you can understand putting others before yourself, then you don't understand the gospel. So I said, I'm sorry, but equating wearing masks to the gospel is quite the liberal stretch. Next, you'll say the same about vaccinations. What about turning in neighbors for harboring enemies of the state, say Jews? It's dangerous stuff. You can't just say that. Because, right, putting people in front of yourself as a gospel thing, your position is you should wear a mask. Well, eventually that comes to turn in your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it's already been done. It's just dangerous.
Yeah, and I got the same message from the pastor I spoke to last week. He said the exact same thing, that wearing a mask is about protecting others. I said, from what? What, because one guy died from COVID? Oh, well, how are you sure it's COVID?
Yeah.
But there's, this deception that's going on out there is, it's so intense. And because of this biblical literacy, because of the fact that believers don't know their Bible, they have no way of determining. They're listening to the mainstream media, who are nothing more than the prophets of Baal today. We are in the same position that Elijah was in under Ahab and Jezebel. And there's only one voice that's being allowed right now, and that's why you've got everybody being shut down. And for Christians to buy into that narrative, man, are they going to be some of those in Matthew 7:21? Many will come to me in that day. Are we in the season where many are falling away? I think so.
Oh, we've been in that for the last 10 years.
No. The Lord told me very specifically it had begun a year and a half ago. Judgment has begun in my house. And the coronavirus is simply a manifestation of that. But there's other things that are going on too. Because you go from many will fall away in Matthew 24 to John 16, where it says that they will kill you and think that they are doing a service to God. They'll turn this in.
Well, we've had people report my Monday night thing. They reported my Zoom to Facebook, so they banned it for abusive content. A long time, like 8 months ago. And so like I said at the very top of this show, there are things we're not able to talk about anymore because if you disagree, you could report us. Listen to the words I'm using. I could share a biblical absolute that you disagree with. You go and report us. They shut us down, or they do this. They come a knocking at your door. Man, we are there. We're not going to get there. We have arrived. We have been there for about a good year, almost a year now.
Look what's going on in the UK right now. I mean, if you violate COVID restrictions, you could go to jail for 10 years.
Up to 10 years, yeah.
Murderers don't get that much. You go out without a mask, 10 years. And we're going to feed you sparingly like they did with Jeremiah. Or, Micaiah. Feed him sparingly with bread and water until I return.
Well, I was told once, you don't get an Elijah without an Ahab and a Jezebel.
Nope.
And we need Elijahs, big time. We need that mighty prophetic spirit of God that Elijah had that was transferred to Elisha. You know, raising the dead, healing the sick, miracles, not just healing miracles, but like miracles like axe heads floating, you know, pouring salt in water to clean it.
Yeah.
And the discernment to do so, because even Jesus said this, Elijah was only sent to one widow. The whole place was in a famine. There's a whole bunch of widows wanting and needing food. He was sent to one. You see, that takes discernment to understand that. A lot of people don't understand that.
And,
what do you mean?
He got tossed off a cliff because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said he almost got tossed off a cliff for saying that too.
Yeah.
And there were many lepers.
Yeah.
But it was only Naaman the Syrian.
Not even an Israelite. That's the thing, and that's what a lot of Christians don't understand. Some of you remember a little while back, almost 2 years ago now, I was demonized publicly by a Torah community, by another faction out there, because I wouldn't jump on a plane on my own dime and go lay hands on a woman I didn't even know to heal her before she died. And I was demonized because I said, well, I'll ask the Lord and I'll let you know. You never got back to us. Well, because the Lord never told me anything. And they go, well, I don't see that in the Bible. And I used that example. And they said, now you're just making stuff up. And I'm like, you know what? It's your friend. You go lay hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't believe in that stuff. And see, they were doing that to bait me. And I'm like, you don't understand the dangerous ground that you are on when you screw with me like that. And yeah, I just said that. I'll say it again. Don't mess with me. And then I asked, does your friend, the husband of this woman, know that you're doing this? No. Yeah, this guy was a Muppet, full-on Muppet. And then when I met him physically, I'm like, here I am, buddy. Come and take your shot you've been wanting to take. And he cowered like the... So, what else are we talking about? Kevin, you remember that? You were freaking there, dude. You saw it. Josh? Oh, Josh isn't here. Oh, dude, it was crazy. You don't do that. But yes, Elijah was sent to one leper and one widow, and there was a whole bunch of them. You got to have the discernment. You need to lay hands on no man suddenly. New Testament. Gee, what a concept. You have to know when to say, I'll lay hands on you, or can I lay hands on you? And then when to go, I ain't touching you. You got to know. You've got to know. Christians don't know that. Well, but it's also the majority of Christians that talk like that, or, ridicule or bitch about it. They don't have the ability or the gifts or the skill sets. It's beyond their pay grade. See? So I know, right? Dude, that sucked. That was a drag because it hurt people, They hurt people because a bunch of people were watching. Wasn't that right, Kevin? But yeah, you don't get an Elisha without an Ahab and a Jezebel. Jezebel, you just punch her in the throat, dude. Ahab, he'll hurt himself. Jezebel, you punch in the throat.
Yeah, you tell the eunuchs to toss her down.
Lenny knows how uncomfortable it can get around me in real life case scenarios when I am approached with a unsound religious spirit. He's seen it more times than I can count. Ooh, we have a response. The point is, remember the wearing a mask is equated to the gospel? Here's the response to my warning of how, this can lead up to, well, if you don't vaccinate, you're not putting others before yourself, to turning in your neighbors. Remember? Here's the reply. The point is, and I can do this because this is publicly on my Facebook page. So it's not like it's a private message. The point is, when you walk into a grocery store and you're not wearing a mask, there are people right now who are genuinely scared about it. They may be immune compromised or have elderly parents at home, etc. Why do they always go there? You're going to kill my grandma. I had somebody actually say, they have one lung. I'm like, you know what, dude? The fact that your buddy has one lung had nothing to do with me, ever. I've never met the guy. It's not because of me they have one lung. It makes them very uncomfortable and even scared that you're not wearing a mask. As a Christian, to blow these people off out of pride, I'm not wearing a mask because of pride. To prove a point, that's more like it. Or out of your rights and freedoms is arrogance. I mean, it's putting a mask for crying out loud. Be man. Take one for the team. Consider others more than yourselves. Don't be a whiny baby. No one's asking you to walk 3 miles in the snow. I'm going to say,
Got a lot of snow.
I disagree. And now you're insulting me. He just called me a whiny baby. Be a man. Take one for the team. No, don't talk to me like that. I disagree. Like I said. Oh, he continues. And living the gospel is made up of all the little things we do and decisions we make every day. So wearing a mask indoors for the sake of others is living the gospel. I disagree. See? What do you do? What do you do with that? How do you can't tell them they're not going to change their mind. No,
because the age and the time of discourse is gone. Everybody has made up their minds one way or another as to which position they're going to take.
Yeah. So here's what I'm saying. I disagree. Let me know when you get to vaccinations. And I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. Then he goes, I'm not aiming it at you, but anyone who refuses to accommodate others of love. That would be me.
So when we refuse to accommodate people who have an unbiblical and sinful view of marriage and relationships, does that mean we're not loving too?
Right.
So
take note.
Love.
So I'm saying that would be me based on your definition. Take note based on what you just said, Daryl. Take note. I'm told the same exact thing when I tell people they are scripturally in sin. Right?
The definition hasn't changed.
They're uncomfortable and think I'm an a-hole. It's true. I've had it. They've told me. When I tell people, what's the example I used earlier? You can't be sexually immoral and serve God. Well, yeah, I can. No, you can't. Here's what the Bible says. They get offended. They get all wacky. because I took my mask or I'm not wearing a mask. See, it's the same thing. In my reality, it's the same thing. So anyway, unfortunately, and I like this guy. So it's not like I'm being a jerk because I don't like the guy. No, I like this guy a lot. I just disagree with him. And he's not going to budge. That's fine. Don't budge. But you know what? Your argument is really weak, in my opinion. I don't think wearing a mask is equating to the gospel. I think that's a liberal stretch.
But again, it's because these people are biblically ignorant. When you go to the book of Revelation, right in the middle when everything is going down, what does John say in chapter 14, verse 12? Here is the perseverance of the saints who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Yeshua. It's got to come back to the commandments. These people who believe that wearing masks is loving and that we all need to get our vaccinations and that we need to, listen to the mainstream media and everything else, they don't keep the commandments of God. And because they have rebelled against God's holiness, they don't have any wisdom and discernment for what's going on in this day and age. And that's what it all comes down to. That's why they're all falling away, because they have no grounding. They have no firm footing. They have nothing to tether them to the truth anymore because they rejected the truth. And now it's real. See, before it was all conjecture. We can talk about, whether the rapture is going to be, is it pre-trib, is it mid-trib, is it pre-wrath, is it, all these things didn't matter. Now it's real. Now it has now the decisions that we make as believers and what we're going to do and what we're not going to do have consequences. And there's a whole bunch of people who are failing the test.
So, it's interesting, and look at how everybody's getting caught up in the minutia of what you need to do in your own private life. And that's, Paul speaks volumes on this rather than seeing what the big picture is and what the spirit behind the governments and the nations are doing to control and manipulate humankind. They're missing the bigger picture. And it's sad because the church always gets caught up anyway.
And the demonic world is going crazy right now.
Oh, they're loving it.
Yeah.
They're like pigs in mud. They're in a hot tub right now going, look at these idiots.
What's the next thing I can tick your little ear off with? I mean, that's what they're doing.
But then we're the bad guys trying to hold the line. We're the bad guys explaining what these parameters are. And again, it has to do with biblical illiteracy. I absolutely, completely agree. Christianity versus the Bible all day long.
Uninformed.
Gene therapy. Yep. That's right. They have no discernment. They don't have discernment spiritually. And if you look at their lives, they don't have a lot of discernment just practically or rationally.
Well,
it's hard to work with people like that.
If I have a pastor who tells me that he had to go deep theologically to undo the damage I did about Christmas.
Yeah, buddy.
There's a contradictory statement if I ever heard one.
I remember Lenny, not to, but yeah.
Anyway.
I'm constantly told, you don't have any love. You don't have any mercy. You don't have any grace. Why? Because you just called me out? Yeah, okay. How many times have you seen that, Lenny?
Lots.
Where are those people now? Oh, I'm sorry. All my children are homosexuals now or whatever. It's like, there's no fruit. Where's your fruit? I called you out because you're not bearing fruit. You need to bear fruit. I called you out so that you would change, align to bear godly fruit. So you can lead your family in godliness and holiness and model Jesus to them. No, you're bad. You don't have any love or mercy because you just called me out. Okay, here we are. Time tells all. It's sad. I don't say that with Lenny. You know me. I'm not saying that as a boast. It breaks my freaking heart. I love these people, but I'm not going to love you to death. I want to love you into life. I should coin that somewhere. I love you to life. I'm not going to love you to death because loving you to death means I don't say anything. I keep it copacetic. I let you continue doing what you're doing and being how you are, and then you'll die. Alan, why didn't you? Right? And then you show up with the whole Abraham's bosom thing. Alan, why didn't you tell me? Well, because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to have that. I'm doing everything I possibly can to stand before Father God without your blood on my hands. That means I have to tell you the truth. Even though I know you're going to get mad at me and you're going to turn on me and you're going to attack me. That's why I don't give pigs my pearls. There's a reason I don't do that. This light is too bright. Right, Lenny?
Yep.
Or am I wrong? If I'm wrong, please tell me.
No.
That's why we do the Chameleon Church show. We do the Chameleon Church show because we are watchmen on walls. And here's the thing. A watchman only has authority over those that listen to them. You came to us. You're watching this show. We didn't coerce you to watch this. You know what I'm saying? You are watching this show as regularly as you do or whatever out of your own right, on your own. Which means what we say and how we say it is ringing true with you. Well, that being the case, at some level of virtual accountability or virtual, right? And that's why we're very serious about what we talk about, because we will be judged for what we tell you. We will be judged for our theology. We will be judged for our doctrinal stance. Denominational stance. I have no denominational stance. Doctrinal stance. We understand that and we know that. And we know that. Which is why we're very careful on what we believe and what we say. And you've heard me apologize on here before. I will apologize when I need to apologize. Most people want me to apologize for more than I do, but no, I won't. I won't apologize for truth. See, what I just read you that is going on my Facebook, I'm not going to apologize for that because I do not believe that wearing a mask is equal to living out the gospel. And I explained why. Eventually you'll say, if you're not vaccinated, you're not a good Christian because you're putting others in danger. See, right. See how easy that was?
And you know what? It escalates too. If you don't believe in homosexuality and same-sex marriage, you're not a loving person. And
I've been told that more times than you even know. And I don't talk about it publicly, but I've been told that. I can't even tell you how many times I've been told that. But I have. I've literally been told that, Alan, your stance on homosexuality is hate speech, and it doesn't represent Jesus properly because Jesus is about love. He didn't condemn the prostitute that was brought to him that was caught in adultery. And I'm like, okay, did you finish reading the rest of that story? What does he tell her? Did I condemn you? No. Go and sin no more. That's the piece the Christian left leave out.
Notice Jesus didn't say, I'm going to talk to you about what you're wearing. He just said, here's the issue of sin.
Yeah. Go and sin no more.
We're caught it. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
See, here's a problem. Here's the thing they don't understand. Here, again, biblical illiteracy. They think I'm anti-homosexuals in the world. Absolutely not. I will eat with them. I will party with them. I will drink with them. They can spend the night at my house, if they need a place to stay or whatever. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. And I mean, why else would I play a lesbian bar in Lower Manhattan? See, whether they're LGBTQXYZ or whatever nonsense that is, whether that's their lifestyle or not, has no bearing on my reality. If you're a non-believer and you're sexually immoral, that has no bearing on my reality. See, that's not how I look at people. I don't see color. I don't see sexual preference. I don't see religious preference. I don't see any of that. It's when you try to tell me that you're a Christian and you're that guy. Now we got a problem, because now we have to open up the Bible, right? Household of faith. Judgment starts with the household of faith. If there's teaching of Paul, this is a New Testament teaching. If someone claims to be a Christian, but are drunkards, murderers, liars, sexually immoral, etc., 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 have nothing to do with them. Don't even break bread with them. They are not of us. They're not of us. Have nothing to do with them. That's who I'm talking about. If you're in the world, hell, knock yourself out. Do whatever the hell you want, because the rules don't apply to you. See, that's what religious Christians and the Christian left don't understand about my position. And I've explained it to them. I think I just explained it very eloquently. And they don't hear it. They can't hear it. See, they love this. What is it? Love the sin or hate the sin. They love the sin too, because they make room for the sin. They're not telling these people to go and sin no more. They're telling people like me, you need to be accepting of their sin. No. That's why I say my Christianity is an echo chamber, because you're not in it. When I die and I go to glory, wherever that is, whether there's a heaven or a new earth, you're not there. See, it is an echo chamber. Yeah. Anyway, everything I just said is considered hate speech. It's considered abusive. It's considered legalistic. It's considered non-Christian. It's not Jesus. Jesus wouldn't do that. You don't know Jesus. You don't know Jesus at all. It's a different Jesus. I don't believe in the Rob Bell Jesus. Yeah, I said that. I'll say it out loud again. I don't believe in the Rob Bell Jesus. I'm not a universalist, and I'm not a liberal. I'm not a progressive. I'm a conservative fundamentalist, charismatic. I speak in tongues. And if you would let me, I'll lay hands on you and cast all those demons out of you. Those religious, demonic doctrine of demons. I should probably be quiet now, huh?
Well, gentlemen, it has been a slice, but we are...
Are you leaving us? We're on fire, man. This is the gospel.
Amen.
And I just, I just want you to walk in, Father, I just want these people listening to walk in the fullness of your Holy Spirit. I want them to come to the full knowledge of your Messiah. I want them to live the life abundant Jesus came to bring them. I want them to live in scriptural, absolute fullness, not their denominational or theology and doctrines based on their understanding, but on your understanding, what your word says. In Jesus' name. That's why we do this. Otherwise, I got a bunch of other stuff I could be doing on Tuesday morning. Sorry, not sorry.
You're listening to Chameleon Church. Biblical antidotes for the modern man. With your host, Alan Aguirre.
we are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.